What's good everyone, back again with another video, and today we are looking at the Viper V3 Pro. I have quite a few things to say about this mouse and Razer in general, so I'll try to make this quick. So first, just overall impressions. The build quality is very good. From what I've seen, Razer is using a new internal structure to kind of keep the creaking to a minimum that we saw in the Death Adder V3, so that's good. First off, I'm just going to start with my honest reaction, and that the price is too high. So this retails for $160 US, and I don't know, we're just getting too comfortable with companies raising prices little by little over time. At the end of the day, we're just paying for a cheap plastic little toy that has like a battery and a sensor in it and like an MCU. It's like kind of getting ridiculous how much prices are going up. This is a $10 increase from the Viper V2 Pro. Some people might say it's worth it because you get the high polling rate dongle. Well, I just think high polling rate is like not a real difference. Along with the main competitor, the GPX, technically the GPX was 160. And the GPX2 is still 160, so I don't like the price increase here. I don't like the price in general here. So the next obvious thing is the shape, and the shape is modified. I know a lot of people were kind of complaining and saying they should just change the name because it's not a Viper, but you can tell that the Viper DNA is still very much there, more so in the front half of the mouse. So if I turn over the mouse, you see the signature flares similar to the Viper V2 Pro. And that's what's going on here. I really hate this like hourglass shape, or you can think of it as a concave lens, because I don't know, just look at the concave shape. That's not what a human hand looks like, right? So when you go to like lay your hand, relax. No, this is like a rounder shape. So how is this round shape going to mesh with this really at all? I just don't think it does, and people need to like change their grips or like really get used to the fact that you're pinching in the middle here. As for the hump, they kind of moved the hump towards the back a bit, and they made the hump like less wide and round and flat from the Viper V2 Pro. This was a good decision in my opinion, though I would have preferred the FK style flat mouse that the Viper V2 Pro was kind of inspired by. They just decided to ditch that overall and go for the back humps. Kind of like Drake and his BBL, the back hump mice are kind of trending nowadays. So this is a great back hump. I just think the shape overall is ruined from the front of the mouse still flaring outwards. As you can see, like the Viper V2 Pro, you know, like you want to put your palm on it, relax your fingers down, and it's just like my pinky is floating because of this concavity. Like, why is it there? The next thing is the clicks have deep grooves for your fingers, which is comfortable and nice. Gives you a bit of stability. But again, because of the outward flaring, you have kind of these aggressive corners up here. So if you want to grip the way I do, where you get your palm contact and then you relax your hand on it, like my ring finger is really on this like sharp corner, this sharp edge, and it's just not comfortable. I can move it down, but you know, I kind of do that like semi 1-3-1 type grip, at least with Ambi-mice. So yeah, overall the shape, the back hump does so much carrying for the shape that it's still a pretty comfortable mouse, but you gotta know what you're getting into. If you didn't like the front half of the Viper V2 Pro, you won't like it here either. I can show you something like the GPX where, you know, the front is not as aggressively shaped. I can kind of just get my palm on there, relax my fingers. I have that kind of pseudo 1-3-1, no sharp corner. I can transition from the sidewall to the top of the sidewall like this. So yeah, just the main takeaway from the shape in my opinion is that the GPX is still the overall like better safe shape for most people. And the reason why is because the GPX just fully commits to being like a middle hump, just straight shape. No personality at all. And the reason why that's better is because, I mean, that's how you get a safe shape that is going to be decent enough, at least for the most amount of people. The Viper V2 Pro, or excuse me, the Viper V3 Pro on the other hand, doesn't really commit to anything. Like, it kind of half-assed the back hump. And then on top of that, the front flaring is contrasting with the back hump type shape. The back hump type shape is, you know, traditionally for claw grippers, and like I said, the flaring and the curving on the body is just like not good for that kind of claw grip, right? So I would have liked them to just commit fully to the back hump, you know, like other back hump mice like Hottie S, ZA, OP1. They either stay flat towards the front or they get even thinner, you know? And while some of those mice do have flares like the Viper V3 Pro, the front of the mouse becomes so thin on those that it's not as noticeable and it's very comfortable. This mouse tries to curve in, but then doesn't get skinny enough because it wants to be a bigger mouse to like appeal to more hand sizes like the GPX. But like I said, the safe shape GPX still does it better. The skates, on the other hand, you might have seen them. They're big, chunky. I wonder who they copied. But yeah, the skates are great. I love this change. The next thing, I mean, it's going to be kind of rough, but the new sensor and the new dongle are kind of meaningless less in my opinion. You know, 8K, faster sensor, like the tech is just too fast now that like every generation, every video, every reviewer, everyone's just gonna say, yeah, it's better than the last gen, but no one can notice. It's kind of like buying new iPhones now, right? It's like, if you have an iPhone 14 or if you have an iPhone 13, do you need a 14? I mean, maybe. The difference between an iPhone 13 and an iPhone 14 is even slimmer than the performance of the Viper V3 Pro and the Viper V2 Pro, so that should be saying a lot. Now, the coating on the white version I've heard is way better than the black version, and I mean, if this is anything to go by, this is just the best coating I've ever felt. And like Razer really needs to go back and put this on the Death Adder V3 Pro like immediately. Like this is better than the Faker Edition coating, the black Death Adder V3 wired. It's better than anything. It's better than Endgame Gear, Logitech, Zowie. Like this is the best coating. So shout out to Razer here. The clicks are good, but I mean, it's just come to what we expect from Razer. There's no really improvements here, I'd say. I will shout them out here for basically removing any play or give that the clicks have. This is a big criticism that I have for the Logitech clicks, which is like, that's really bad, right? Scroll wheel's good. I already showed you the sound. It's not too loose like some of the old Death Adder V3s, so you won't get those ghost jumps. I mean, yeah, this is kind of quick, but overall a good mouse, but just pricing, like the marginal advancements of tech nowadays in each generation of mice sensors, and just the confusing like hourglass shape from the Viper V2 Pro staying with the Viper V3 Pro. I just don't like it. I mean, this is just nitpicking because a lot of people are going to like this back hump, but there are better options if you prefer the back hump with a claw grip. There's better options if you prefer a fingertip grip, and like I don't even know if you can palm grip this. Again, this space, this empty space of the concavity is just like always there. Yeah, I'd definitely say look for other options. The performance gains are not what should sway your dollar here, which is like one of the marketing schemes that Razer uses. I don't like the pricing scheme, and I don't like what they're doing, because this begs the question, like if the Viper V3 Pro is not the same shape as the Viper V2 Pro, and the V2 Pro is not outdated by any means, do we just keep the Viper V2 Pro, which they have done and I've seen on Amazon for $99 now, which is a significantly better buy than the Viper V3 Pro in my opinion. Of course, there's a shape differences that you're not going to reap the benefits of if you go for the Viper V2 Pro, but like I said, with the flaring, they're both not good shapes anyways, and that makes it confusing because the old gen was 150 without the dongle. Now this is 160 with the dongle, but the dongle was supposed to be $30, so there should have been a mouse for 130, right? The Viper V2 Pro should have been 130. They defended themselves when everyone was wondering why the Viper V2 Pro debuted at 150. I don't know, it's just confusing, right? And now the Viper V2 Pro is $99, the dongle's $30. Now this comes with the dongle, but you can't use it with other mice. I mean, they just changed their mind on the dongle entirely, right? You just get the dongle that comes with the mouse now, and it seems like they're just doing it because Logitech did it. If you see my Cobra Pro review, you know that I kind of roasted them because they just kind of copy Logitech. So it seems weird that they're changing their mind and going back on the dongle being $30 out of pressure from Logitech, including the dongle as well. I also wonder, because the Viper V2 Pro is $99 now, and that is on the same gen tech as the Death Adder V3, but the Death Adder V3 still stays at 150. And then they updated a Death Adder V3 with a smooth touch coating to be 160 to match this. It's just like, why? Because that's on the Viper V2 tech, so maybe the Death Adder V3 should also be $100 now, maybe $130 with the dongle. At the end of the day, you know, the prices are creeping up all the time, and we just need to vote with our wallets. Because I dislike the shape, because I dislike the price, and Razer's whole marketing scheme and how they set the market within their own lineup, I'm just going to tell you, you should probably vote with your own wallet, get a better shape for you, and you can just straight up get it cheaper, right? You can get the OP1, you can get GPX, you can get the GPX1 on sale for very cheap. Even the GPX2 I've seen for $130 on sale. The Lambs with Atlantis is obviously closer to $100. XM2WE is $80. Of course, the 3370 again, but like I've been saying, it doesn't matter. So yeah, vote with your wallet. I'm going to be returning my copy. I think this is just, I don't know, Razer is just kind of playing it safe, which is weird because they change stuff, but think about it for a second. Think about what I said.